There we go. Thank you to Mimi Raizen and another session of the Jewish Leading Ladies of Broadway. Thank you to Mara, who has stepped up to be the other tech person involved tonight. My name is Carol Kozak Ward. Most of you already know me. Welcome to this wonderful session of Jewish Leading Ladies of Broadway with the feature performer, the career and highlights of Sarah Jessica Parker. Brought to you by two major funders that we must mention and applaud. You can do it that way. That is SCFD, the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, of which the Colorado Hebrew Chorale is a very proud member of the Tier 3 organizations. And the second is Colorado Creative Industries, and the Colorado Hebrew Chorale is thrilled to be receiving funding from both of these parties. We also could not do any of this without you, so we thank you in advance. If you're able to support us, wonderful. Looking ahead to our calendar, our women's choir, Kol Nashim, will be offering its annual woman-to-woman program in support of the programs that are run through and benefit the clients of the Jerusalem Shelter for Battered Women and Children. That program takes place on Tuesday evening, May the 23rd at 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, in person at the Hebrew Education Alliance and via live stream. More details about that at our website, coloradohebrewchorale.org. And with that, I mute myself and say to Mimi, take it away.
Oh, I actually do have a little bit of music to share, might as well. So as a few more people will probably join us. Looks like we got a few stragglers, and here we go.
Do I need to change my screen?
Oh,
No.
hang on.
Well, I can hit share, and I think then we're good.
I got it. Hang on.
Okay.
I think you need to close out the share, though.
Okay, so I'm going to stop my share. Or hopefully you're good.
Okay.
Thank you, Max. Thank you, Max, for that marvelous introduction. I put a spell on you. And now you're mine. You can't stop the things I do. I ain't lying.
No! Don't listen to him!
Been 300 years, right down to the day. Now the witch is back, and there's hell to pay. I put a spell on you.
Good joke. Happy Halloween. Thanks a lot. No, man, I'm serious.
Yeah,
You gotta get happy. I'm not kidding. To have fun. All right. Yeah, clear up. Let's go, guys.
Hello, sailor. My name's Wilfred. What's yours? I put a spell on you, and now you're gone. My planet fell on you, and it was strong. So strong. Your wretched little life have all been cursed 'cause of all the witches working. And the worst, I put a spell on you, and now you're mine.
Watch out! Watch out! Watch out! Watch out!
If you don't believe, you better get superstitious.
Mom, Dad, thank God.
Hey, Max, great show.
Cover your ears.
I put a spell on you.
What? Oh, oh.
I put a spell.
Oh, I wish we had the camera.
I say it's a buy, up or maybe up and die. I say it's a buy, up or maybe up and die. In Salvatore, I'm a
if you did not recognize that song, that is I Put a Spell on You from the film Hocus Pocus, which does indeed star Sarah Jessica Parker alongside Bette Midler and Kathy Najimy. Right, so to start us out, Sarah Jessica Parker was born on March 25th, 1965 in Nelsonville, Ohio, and she was one of 8 siblings. Her mother remarried, and so some of them are half siblings, but her father was Jewish, Eastern European immigrant, and Parker actually came from the name Bar Khan that ended up being changed. Okay, Parker's mother wanted her children to all be immersed in culture in some capacity, and from a young age, she would take them to free ballet and theater presentations in Cincinnati. And at the same time, she started taking ballet and acting classes and started to get pretty serious into that. And by the age of 11, was cast in the Broadway revival of William Archibald's The Innocents. This was actually alongside her brother Timothy, who was cast as an understudy. And as they continued on, so it sort of became a bit of a family thing. It was more than just Sarah was acting. It was her brother Timothy, her brother Pippin, a few others as well. But the family did end up moving from Ohio to New York City in support of her career. And while she was there, some of the schools she attended included the School of American Ballet and the New York Professional Children's School. All right, I'm not expecting everybody to know this. It's more just a fun little thing. Sarah Jessica Parker's brother Timothy appeared in the original Broadway cast of which show? Your options are Miss Saigon. Ooh. Someone else got to pull up the poll, apparently.
I can't do it on my end. I think Carol needs to do it or make me a cup of.
Oh, come on. Hang on.
Well, we're a small enough group. I think we'll be okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
can
I
see
can't
if I
seem to
can
pull it up
figure
from
it
over
out.
here.
Poll 1. Okay, let's see if I can do this. But
All right.
all right.
Okay.
I'm gonna end the poll.
Say I can't see the results. So what did we get?
I'm gonna share the results.
All right.
Let's see. Hopefully you see it. But I think Okay, Mimi, put us out of our misery.
All right. So he was in the original Broadway cast of Rent. You can actually see him here in this clip.
The speakers out before you pack.
Yes, Maureen.
Yeah, hurry back.
Sisters?
You're close.
That's just one of the many bit parts. He was in the ensemble as well as the role of Gordon, who is a member of the life support group. All right.
Stuck with a day that's gray and lonely. I can stick out my chin and grin and say, the sun'll come out tomorrow, so you gotta hang on till tomorrow. Come what may, tomorrow, tomorrow, I love you tomorrow. You're always
So you hardly need me to tell you that a little redheaded girl with a dog is Annie, but here we are. And that is actually Sarah Jessica Parker. This was from a Bob Hope special. But she actually played the role on Broadway, taking over for Andrea McArdle. Putting this here. Okay, I guess we're already moving on to our next poll. Okay, what are the names of the Sanderson sisters in Hocus Pocus? Got Betty, Sally, and Molly, Dahlia, Lily, and Astrid, Charlotte, Deirdre, and Shannon, or Winifred, Mary, and Sarah.
All right, let's make this one go away if I can, and go to the next poll. Let's get folks in the room too. Oh, come on, let's go back. Here we go.
It turned out I couldn't actually see the results, so if you can tell me what the
I'll
majority
do
is.
that. I know I'm definitely not voting in this one, so. But it looks like we have 100 people, 100% of the people who are voting have voted, and
All
it's
right.
an even split. Just letting you know,
Okay.
between Dahlia, Lily, and Astrid versus Winifred, Mary, and Sarah. So I'm ending the
Right.
poll. I'm sharing those results, and now I'm making that go away.
All right. Indeed, it is Winifred, Mary, and Sarah.
Stupid cat!
Okay, Max, you've had your fun. It's time to go. Come on, Allison.
Max, she's right. Let's go.
Oh, come on. It's just a...
Nope. It is.
Stupid!
Look at that. What happened?
A virgin lit the candle.
We're home. Oh, sweet revenge. Do these sisters fight us work perfectly? No, that's because thou art perfect. I knew I left this cauldron on, didn't I tell you? Oh, I knew it. My lucky rat tail. Just where I left it.
All right. So in March of 1979, Parker took over the role of Annie in the original Broadway production, though she also had been previously starring in it in the role of July, which is one of the orphans. In 1982, she landed the role of Patty Green in a CBS sitcom Square Pegs, which only lasted a season. Though this was followed up with a bunch of other roles, including appearances in films such as Footloose. So keep an eye out for her next time you watch that. Girls Just Want to Have Fun, and Disney's The Flight of the Navigator. Then in 1989, she went back to the stage in the off-Broadway production of The Heidi Chronicles by Wendy Wasserstein. Yes, there's lots of Hocus Pocus tonight. In Hocus Pocus, what is Sarah Sanderson's choice of transportation?
All right.
Broom,
Let's go
a
back.
vacuum, a mop, or a Swiffer?
All right. I'll bite. Hopefully lunch will launch. Let's see what we got here. I don't know. Let's see if it will work. Well, I don't know if launch is launching. I'm going to try this one again. All right. Launch. I'm not seeing any results showing up in terms of people voting. I apologize. So, we're among friends here. Don't worry about me closing the polls. I'm just making this go away. All right. Let's eliminate D. Please enlighten us, Mimi. I was
All
ready to
right.
go with a mop.
It is a mop.
Wow.
Into the night! Winnie? Boom
So I will say that they recently released a sequel to Hocus Pocus, and indeed they all got a little bit of some upgrades, including that Sarah does now actually use a Swiffer, and Mary, who's on the vacuum, has 2 Roombas. Right, so in 1996, Parker appeared opposite her then boyfriend Matthew Broderick in a revival of How to Succeed in the role of Rosemary. She followed this up by playing Princess Fred in the revival of Once Upon a Mattress. And then her film career continued to take off. And in 1993 is when she appeared in the Disney Halloween classic Hocus Pocus alongside Bette Midler and Kathy Najimy, which that film was a total flop when it first premiered. Really was kind of done it to kind of get it to where it is now, because sure, if anybody has gone into any stores basically in August, even when they start putting out the Halloween stuff, I would say probably at least half of it is related to Hocus Pocus in some way. But that's been all because of them re-airing it on cable and through streaming services. And then in 1996, she appeared in the Tim Burton film Mars Attacks, which had a large ensemble cast, including the likes of Jack Nicholson, Glenn Close, and Pierce Brosnan. Okay, what is the name of the male lead in How to Succeed? Which, if need a little help, it's How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. I just didn't want to write it all out. Your choices are J.P. Morgan, J. Pierpont Finch, James T. Kirk, or J. Jonah Jameson.
Do we answer out loud, or how do we answer?
That's a good question.
I'm
What are
not
we doing
sure
at the moment?
I'm not sure, except that I do know absolutely the answer to this, and every time I hit launch with the poll, it goes static. But I think you can see the choices, and
Could put
the
it in the
good
chat.
news, you can put it in the chat naturally, but like everything else, I'm sure you can eliminate one of them already. And if you can't, that's fine. But yes, the correct answer is B, just so you know.
I think we all got that one.
As I
Hooray.
said, this was a pretty easy one.
Yes.
All
So
right.
yes, indeed, it's J. Pierpont Finch.
I'm prepared for exactly that sort of thing. I'll be so happy to keep his dinner warm while he goes onward and upward. Happy to keep his dinner warm till he comes wearily home from downtown. I'll be there waiting until his mind is clear.
All right. What is the name of Sarah Jessica Parker's character in Sex and the City? Carrie Bradshaw, Samantha Jones, Charlotte York, or Miranda Hobbs?
You know this one, folks.
Not like this is
That's-
probably one of the most famous things that she's famous for, so.
Right. Thanks, Robbie.
You're welcome.
All right. Indeed, it is Carrie Bradshaw.
I spent $40,000 on shoes and I have no place to live? I will literally be the old woman who lived in her.
So in 1998, that's when Sarah Jessica Parker received a script from HBO for Sex and the City, which was based on a book of the same name. And this show actually took off, I'm sure, as a lot of you know, and was a very big success, running from 1998 to 2004. During the show's run, Parker won multiple Emmys and Golden Globes for her performance as Carrie. After that, she actually took on even more film roles, such as in Failure to Launch, starring opposite Matthew McConaughey in 2006.
Parents want him out.
He's 35 years old. He still lives at home. That is not normal.
I've lived upstairs since I was 3. It's gonna take a stick of dynamite to get me out of my parents' house.
And there's only one person for the job.
I am a professional motivator. For many young men, self-esteem develops during a romantic relationship. So I simulate one.
Can I have a drink tonight?
I can have your son moved out of this house by June 15th.
Hallelujah! I take it you like Japanese food.
Oh, I love it. I'm also going to order a huge dessert, drink too much, and maybe talk about my old boyfriends. Does that intimidate you?
Oh, that's not easy to do.
So just because the show ended in 2004 does not mean that Sarah Jessica Parker was done with the role of Carrie Bradshaw and returned to it for the Sex and the City films. First was released in 2008 and the sequel in 2010. Let's see. And alongside her entertainment career, she's actually branched out quite a bit into the fashion industry. This has included some fragrances as well as her discount clothing line Bitten, which was from 2007, 2008. She's also done some footwear, and more recently, she's been working on a ready-to-wear bridal line. And those are clips and highlights from a recent production of Plaza Suite on Broadway. In 2016, she both executive produced and starred in the HBO show Divorce. This role earned her yet another Golden Globe for her performances. And originally in 2020, it was announced that Parker would star alongside her husband, Matthew Broderick, in a revival of Neil Simon's Plaza Suite, which I'm sure you can guess was delayed by COVID-19. So Plaza Suite did not actually open until March of 2022, playing a limited run until July 10th, 2022. It's a play in 3 acts, and Parker and Broderick play 3 different couples throughout the duration of the show. And this actually marked the first time that they had performed together on Broadway since they had done How to Succeed in Business back in 1996.
The dynamic trio, Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy returning in Hocus Pocus 2.
It's been almost 30 years since the original.
Imagine.
What was that first day like?
Don't we look good 30 years later?
I put a spell on you.
In the 29 years since they cast their spell on us all, Hocus Pocus has delighted children and their families.
Oh, come on. It's just a bunch of hocus pocus.
The Halloween staple following the Sanderson sisters, Winifred, Sarah, and Mary, as the magical trio ran amok in Salem. The now beloved original movie wasn't a box office hit, but thanks to cable reruns and streaming, Hocus Pocus conjured up new generations of fans.
This wasn't a runaway hit in the beginning. How shocked were you that it took off?
When it migrated to television and they played it at Halloween week, or they played it just the night of Halloween, and then they played it the week of Halloween, then they played it 2 weeks before, and then 3, and suddenly it was a whole full month, and suddenly Halloween became a thing.
It's been 30 years, so generationally what's happened is this generation has grown up and handed off to their kids, who have then handed it off to friendships. But the other thing that I think is so special and meaningful is that the audience is an incredibly diverse group of people.
So much has changed for the three actresses since shooting the first film.
So yes, in 2022, once again, joined by Bette Midler and Kathy Najimy, the three of them reprised their roles as the Sanderson sisters in Hocus Pocus 2, which premiered on Disney Plus 30 years after the original film, which if you have not seen it and you do enjoy the original film, it's a lot of fun and I highly recommend checking it out. And of course, in 2021, once again, Parker was reprising the role of Carrie Bradshaw in the new HBO show And Just Like That. The show is now in its second season, and for those who don't know, it is following the same group of women from Sex and the City, but now, as opposed to being in their 30s, they are now in their 50s and coping with a whole bunch of new problems.
We are all blissfully unaware when our lives are about to change.
Life is full of surprises.
I'm ready to lose my virginity. Excuse me? I got the list. What list?
There's a whole brouhaha at school about this MILF list.
For real?
Our lunchtime fodder is not usually this lowbrow, I swear.
Really? Who have you been eating with?
It's a big step up for Che and me.
I've been having exit out of grief sex. It's just sex.
Through all the chance that you've been out there, men have feelings too.
Life's too short not to try something new. And just like that, I realized some things are better left in the past. But maybe not everything.
I was to say, I believe that trailer was only released this past week.
Okay.
All right, so that we've hit the end, because you know the hard thing about when you have somebody who's still so contemporary, they're still doing things, and they're still doing a lot of things. So
This is supposed to be going in the.
So yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on, and obviously she's back for that show, and probably many more. This will not be 2 months in July. This will be later, but this is the next session I will be covering. Beanie Feldstein, who, for those who do not know, is actually the sister of Jonah Hill, and recently was starring in the revival of Funny Girl as Fanny Bryce, among other things, and will also be like 20 years from now, if they actually do it the way they're planning on doing it, starring in Merrily We Roll Along, whenever that actually happens.
All right. Well, let's take a moment, first of all, to greet people who've come in late. And I'm still looking at a little flipping, so there should be a recording. If you've missed this, we'll have it available hopefully in the next 48 hours. Come back and check in with us. about that. And with our group, if there is anybody who has any question, just unmute yourself so that Mimi is ready to take it away. Here's my question, given our stance with this. I certainly, excuse me, have read where they talk about if the character that they play is a Jewish character, and this relates more specifically not to just Carrie Bradshaw, whatever that means, but more to uh, Sarah Jessica Parker and her husband Matthew Broderick, if they are, practicing Jews or they are secular Jews, or any other information about what they do in their private life.
Okay, so it seems that she is a bit more involved than he is. They did get married in a historic synagogue. I think it's the Lower East Side. It did not specify which one, but it doesn't seem to be quite as important to Matthew Broderick as it is to Sarah Jessica Parker. She finds meaning in it because it connects her to her father.
Right. I've read more recently, not so much about Sarah Jessica Parker, but Jennifer Gray's autobiography, and that people should know that before Matthew Broderick married Sarah Jessica Parker, he was, in fact, for a time engaged to Jennifer Gray, and you get to read all about that in her book. And then Mimi can decide if she'll include Jennifer Gray at some future point. Uh, I'm going to unmute myself and let anyone else who has a question mute.
Does she have any children, Mimi?
She does. I believe there's 3 in total. I think it's like twins and then a slightly older boy. Don't know how much they put out on like social media, but I remember that there was an article. I don't think it was that long ago. I believe it was something about that they were born via surrogate.
Actually, the first one was her being filmed through Sex and the City, where nothing ever went below the bra line.
I always love when they
I
do
can't
that on
remember which
TV.
season that was, but you could see from the neck up, she was very pregnant. I mean, her face had filled out in a very different way.
It's always fun to
Any
see how
other
they do that on
questions?
TV shows.
Any other questions from anyone? Okay. Well, we're not going to solve world peace tonight, but we're thrilled to have this wonderful overview, and for the people who like to follow these things like me, I think this was a great introduction, and we look forward. We don't, like as Mimi has said, we don't know when the next one will be, but we do know what it will be in terms of the focus on Beanie, and if tell me when I'm wrong, but it wasn't Beanie, but Leah Michelle who got the Tony nomination for the role in this revival of Funny Girl.
So actually nobody got nominated for that.
Oh, okay. I just
But
know
Leah
that.
Michelle was doing the Tony nomination announcements.
Got it.
But as far as I know, it didn't even get a Tony for nomination for Best Revival. That's been going to, I think, it was Camelot. I think Sweeney
Parade.
Todd was one of them. Yeah, and Parade, and I think there was something else.
Okay. So we'll all be watching the Tonys that night. That's quick. I can do this. It'll be the second Sunday in June, June 11th, or unless I have the date wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's the date. So we'll all be ready with our questions, and as always, Mimi, thank you again. Thank you to all of you for being here this evening. The woman to woman spiel I gave early on Visit Colorado Hebrew Chorale website. Thanks to our for our ongoing support from SCFD and CCI, and see you all somewhere soon. Thanks again also to Mara for making all of this work beautifully with Facebook Live. So have a great evening, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy. Ta-ta.